Hey guys, Clover here. Welcome back to the Raytram Guides and Infographics channel. Today we'll be looking at Seer, the much coveted Void legendary champion. Everybody wants to have her. The reason is she can burst down waves like there's no tomorrow. If you're looking for a video showcasing this specific, that's a 6-star awakened Seer. Yeah, I have that one, but that's gonna be on my main channel. I'll be linking that down below. I'll be making a more user-friendly kind of Seer build today for this specific channel. You can have a look at that. You can have a look at my other video on my main channel just to have a look and understanding of the potential damage that the Seer can have with this kind of gear. But a more reasonable gear set for Seer and a way to build her would be with less equipment and maybe a 1-star awakening. That will be for more the general public, and this will be the video for today. If you're looking for the infographic showcased at the start of the video, then again I'll just put it up right here for you guys to see. I'll have that over on the website as well, so you can understand a little bit more about what is Seer and how everything works. I'll probably do a blog post as well. So let's have a look at the Seer that I'm talking about, not this one, but the one that will be showcased today, and how you can actually equip her. So as you can see, this Seer is a 1-star awakened Seer. Doesn't even have an amulet on her banner, because I know that's a little bit out of reach for many, especially at the start of an account. So you might get Seer. You don't even need to get her to level 60 to make her actually work. You don't even need to book her, honestly, because that does not change her damage potential. Okay, the cooldown is only reduced, but if you want to reduce that cooldown to have more consistency, then go for that. But let's get started, by the way, with her skills. Why is Seer so good, and why is she looked out for when you're opening up the voids? Why is it so important to get her? Well, it's the karma burn, honestly. Removes all buffs from all allies and enemies, then attacks all enemies. So you remove the buffs first from your own team, and then the enemy team, and then you attack. Have that in mind. A little bit later where I'll explain the gearing. Damage increase according to the number of removed buffs. The more buffs you have, the more damage. The more buffs the enemies have, the more damage. 50% chance of placing sleep. We don't care about that. Inflict less damage to bosses. So you can't do that on the clan boss, and on specific bosses there's even a cap. So you're limited on the amount of damage that you'll do. Have that in mind, but it still works very good for clearing out waves. That's not her only good skill. She's got an A2 that can boost crit rate and apply a weaken on enemies, so that's pretty strong. 25% more damage dealt through the weaken debuff, and the crit rate is nice, but it's just a buff for us to eat later on when karma burn comes back. Just have in mind the crit rate buff does not affect karma burn. As I said, the buffs are removed first and then you do damage. So you would remove this. You would be, let's say, if you were 70% and we're hoping this helps you to get up to 100%, then no. Don't do that, please. And then A1 has a 15% chance, goes to 20 when booked. Get an extra turn. That is very solid. And that extra turn can sometimes be useful to get that karma burn even quicker. In terms of masteries, these are the masteries that I currently have on this build, okay? But these are not the masteries that I recommend. The masteries that I do recommend, I'll show them from my main Seer. Go all the way down here. You pick up the 5% crit rate, 10% crit damage, Heart of Glory for 5% more damage since we're attacking at full health. Ruthless Ambush helps with doing 8% more damage to enemies. Then we go with Bring It Down, at least get Kill Streak, and then move to the right and pick up this one right here called Flawless Execution. Do this, please, because this gives you 20% more damage. You can get Helm Smasher if you want to, but that is a coin flip if you're going to ignore or not the defense. I don't want a coin flip. I want some consistency with my damage. And you go War Master only for endgame accounts, which I showcase in the video that I mentioned earlier. All right. In terms of support tree, you go accuracy, accuracy, accuracy. And then I would say Evil Eye is so good for turn meter manipulation, as the majority of bosses can be turn meter manipulated. If not, then it's fine. It helps for the waves also, and it's not the only alternative I could see would be Cycle of Magic, but then you would lose out on 20% perimeter reduction. Just have that in mind. By the way, for her buff removal on enemies, she needs accuracy, so building her with a little bit of accuracy is recommended. If enemies that you're fighting at the moment don't have any buffs, then you don't need that. So let's come have a look at this specific Seer and her build. Okay, this is a very beginner friendly build. Beginner friendly, just to show on what she can do, let's say on Dragon 20, and how quickly she can help you clear a wave. It all depends on the setup, and I'll explain that as well. So this is the Seer that I've built. 160 speed, very slow compared to what you could have done. Okay, 100% crit rate. You need 100% crit rate. I don't want to hear anything else. If you see something that's lower than that, please correct them. You need 100% crit rate unless you have an aura that affects your crit rate percentage. Crit damage, you try to get this as high as possible. Please try to get this as high as possible. You don't care about your attack, you care about your crit damage. And accuracy only if enemies that you're fighting have buffs and you want to be removing them. If they don't have, you don't need the accuracy. So in terms of what I've done here is I've tried to get crit damage gloves, okay, crit rate on every single one of the pieces that I have equipped, and crit damage wherever I can with some speed. The speed I have is very minimal. Speed boots, speed substat there, speed substat maybe somewhere else. No, just the weapon. They don't need to be 6-star. They don't need to be fully leveled up. Just get the stats that you need to burst the enemies down. The ring can be whatever, but the more blood shield rings you have on your team, this gives the wearer a shield worth of 5% of the damage that they inflict as a buff for 1 turn. Wow. Let's go have a look at Seer in the Dragon 20 dungeon, okay? You want to be building this sort of team with Apothecary there for the boosting. War Maiden is a free to acquire champion with a defense down. This is crucial for doing more damage. You need it. You need it. You need some more buffs coming in from Apothecary. I've got Kale there for extra damage, and as being the poisoner who survives all the way to the end of the boss, kill down the dragon. Stage 20 brings you those 5-star and 6-star pieces, so you gotta be farming Dragon 20 as a priority for any beginner account. Then we have Mausoleum Mage. He's one of the few champions in the game that can provide multiple amount of buffs with a single skill. Look at that, 3 buffs on all allies for 1 turn with a single skill. So 3 times 5, that's 15 buffs just through 1 champion, plus a shield set. That's 20 buffs just through Mausoleum Mage. There's multiple other champions in the game that can give you buffs, but Mausoleum Mage is an easy one to just have in mind. But other free-to-play ones are, I would say, the one and only Archmage Helmut from the Doom Tower bosses, but that one can take a long while to get from just clearing those secret rooms on normal. And then your Seer at the end, okay? You want to have your defense down to drop before Seer does anything. So Seer is actually the slowest one in the team here. So let's go and have a look at how this run goes. So we have, let's see all the amount of buffs that we'll have by the time Seer goes. So we'll do a little bit of damage right before there. We didn't land the defense down, so Tyrell here will actually survive, but it's fine because he'll probably go to sleep maybe with the amount of accuracy we've got like 120. So look at how many buffs we have. That's 10 plus 12, 22 buffs for Seer to eat, and boom, even without a defense down, we drop him to 50%. So here, I mean, you don't have to auto, so I'll just I'll click auto though, just to see on how good this team is as a farming team. Okay, buffs again, that's nice. We won't eat them right away. Remember, there's a 4-turn cooldown, can take a long while. Look at the weekend there applied by Seer, and we'll start doing a little bit of damage here and there. There's a defense down, and we actually managed to also look at that extra turn from the A1. Oof, okay, didn't die there. Remember, these enemies hit hard, so if you've got a decreased attack, also maybe bring it in there. You don't have to kill the complete wave with Seer. You don't even have all that damage. Just have enough so that maybe you have it, and then you kill some enemies with your Kale. It's gonna work. Don't worry too much about it. Don't stress too much. This is an amazing champion, Seer is, and the more you give her, the better she does. And you'll see that on my other video that I mentioned before. So yeah, doing some poisons now. And here Kale will be the MVP. The poisons will be stacking up from Kale as he will be applying them. And that will be the crucial part of the equation in terms of beating Dragon. Because Dragon is a timed dungeon. That's how I always refer to it. Because it takes when the dragon goes back and takes those breaths, he does that about 4 or 5 times and you're done. He'll do 100% of your health as damage. You won't be able to survive more than that. So you don't have poisons or big damage, I'm talking even bigger than Seer, you won't go through. So poisons, look at all those poisons there now from kill. And look at that. We're already at 40% at 2 minutes 30. This is an amazing team for a starting farming potential of 5-star and 6-star pieces. It will eventually get you to, get your account in general much better than it is. Slowly poisons, more poisons from even War Maiden, and then under 3 minutes basically clear things out. After this, let's have a look at Seer, how Seer does in the arenas. You can still use her in the arena. The only problem is not so much in later parts of the arenas because of the big amount of I would say accuracy that you need for enemies buffs. But let's go and have a look in the arena so I can show you. In dungeons, Seer works the same way in terms of how the waves, you go through the waves. The potential is there for every single dungeon except the spider. For spider, she won't work that well. She doesn't work well on Sand Devil and not well on Iron Twins. Everywhere else, you can still use her to clear out the waves, especially for Fire Knight. She's amazing for Fire Knight 25, but you need end game gear and build, okay, for that. In terms of faction wars, she'll be key to helping you clear through orcs. And then for arena, let's have a look at classic arena and what Seer does in classic arena. Let's find a team that can maybe do a showcase, but you guys see the kind of teams I have right now. But I might not be able to do it with my with the weak Seer. Maybe this team. That's why I'm looking at this one. So for this one, I'll put in, okay, let's see, maybe we can do this. Maybe if I have 2 speed boosters there and multiple buffs, we can still do this. But again, with Seer, you need the buffs, please. You just need them. All right, you just need them. I'll put in Sifi here. She's got multiple buffs, but you'll see on how she can do as a damage dealing champion. No, I'll actually put Lydia in there because that's a free to play. You do the faction wars, you get it, right? So I'll put in Lydia, and she provides defense down, weaken, and a ton of buffs to the team. There's Lydia. I was trying to find her. And what I would like to have is also maybe another speed booster, because my arbiter will not be enough to get my Seer to go. So here, let's have a look at how this goes with the number of buffs we'll have. We have, boom, look at that. So we have so many buffs so far, 8. Then defense down, weaken. By the way, the bolster set, you cannot remove that that buff because it's a protected buff. So look at that, and we're ready to burst them down. So in arena, it can work the same, but maybe for some teams, it's not 100% win rate kind of team. Okay, don't think of it, but you'll still see a lot of damage here from this year, even with 200%. Look at that, we managed to kill off an enemy. Some of them are asleep. We'll try to hit them, but we actually hit UDK here. See, that's hit her. That's good. Look out the provoke. And what we do now is we try to kill the reviver, maybe if we can. Decrease attack does not affect us because Seer is not affected by that. Doesn't get boosted by any of the stats such as increase attack or increase defense. She needs buffs basically. Look at that, she even hits for 15k, which is nothing, honestly. Those hits are nothing. But arena wise, you can still use her, but it's tough. It's tough. I wouldn't recommend it. I wouldn't recommend building a Seer for arena, but it's not unreasonable if you have nothing else, but you've got the setup, right? You got to think of the setup. You got to think of the defense down, the weaken debuff, and you will see that you'll use her a lot eventually in the Doom Tower, right? Eventually in the Doom Tower, she'll be the one helping you clear through waves like crazy. Like, look at, this is my team for clearing waves. This is the end game team. Just to tease you about this kind of setup, Look at that. I buff a lot. This is my end game Seer. I buff a lot. Defense down, weaken. And then boom, look at that. That is my end game Seer. Just clears through them. Now the bad thing about this one is the Rotuses have a unique passive where they will not die from a one shot, but it's fine. They'll eventually die. And I have a reviver. I'm totally okay with how things will go now. Speed boost even. Waiting for the revive. And whoop, here it is. I'll be able to slowly take out this wave. Just a few hits. Rotos woke up and chose violence here. Woke up and chose violence there, but it's fine. We'll get a revive. Get a revive going. And you'll have the auto climb going, and Seer will do her thing with this setup. But this is a more end game setup. Again, though, the idea is the same. You're gonna have a reset champion though, going after Seer or with some custom AI, and that will help you get that burst again. So Seer, amazing champion, highly recommended to put some effort into it, as long as you have everything else covered in your account. So Seer, this was the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you all, and I will see you in the next one. See ya.